Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm Oni, and as you can see, this is a bit of a different format because you don't see my face. And the reason for that is because I broke my phone and my camera doesn't work, so I wasn't able to record the video that way. So instead, I decided to do a presentation style video instead to give you the information and to help you with that information as well. And as you can see by the title here, we're going to talk about affirmations and specifically my experience with affirmations. And also I'm going to give you tips as to how you can start doing affirmations if it's something for you after this video, and what are the possible benefits that you might get from it. So to start off, what is affirmation? An affirmation is something that you kind of affirm, it's in the word, affirm something about yourself. You know, that you're strong or you're useless or you're, handsome or you're ugly, etc., etc. It's something that you affirm and you start believing in your head that, then shapes as to who you are. And that we're gonna get onto later. So my methodology as to how I am doing affirmations still is that I have been listening to affirmations for about 60 days, 60 plus. I started doing them at the beginning of May and I'm still continuing to this day. So that's like 60 plus days. I listened and I still listen to them once or multiple times a day, depending on how the day is going. But and when I listen to these affirmations is after I wake up. So in the morning, I wake up, I do my stuff, I turn on affirmations and I do my morning routine. It might be like, working out or doing, cleaning up, etc., etc. During a workout, so when I'm training as well, I might be listening to affirmations instead of music. On the way to or from the way from work, which has actually been my most popular way of listening to the affirmation. Is like when I'm on the way to work and I'm from work. Although since I broke my phone, I'm not doing that anymore, for now at least, but I still listen to affirmations either way. And at night before bed as well, which kind of helped to solidify some of the affirmations when listening to before sleep. But see how affirmations affect your mental state. I think it's important to first discuss self-image and what it is. And I'm going to bring a very peculiar, let's say, example, uh, which is animated movie called Inside Out. Now, why did I choose Inside Out? It's because after watching it, I uh, realized that this animated movie portrayed self-image and affirmations very, very accurately. Actually, if we just overlook the fact that it is a Disney animation, still it's pretty accurate. And what generally what this animated movie is about is that it's about a young girl, a teenage girl who is controlled by her emotions, and these emotions kind of create these experiences in her life, make her do some certain decisions, which then create these memories, and then these memories create these kind of affirmations that amalgamate to this kind of ginormous, what is this, a lake full of memories that create a certain self-image of her that she keeps repeating to herself. That's actually pretty accurate as to how self-imaging works. So in this chart here, you see on the left how kind of self-image is shaped. So on the left, we have this kind of scheme. First two is thought and emotion. The reason it's thought and emotion, and it has two arrows here, and I'll explain why, is because thought and motion have this kind of symbiotic relationship, right? One cannot exist without the other most of the time. And such a way is that when you feel a certain emotion, it can cause a certain thought, and a certain thought can cause a certain emotion. With this symbiosis, it pushes you kind of to do a certain action that will lead to a certain outcome. Excuse me. Now, when we have a certain outcome, when we add a thought about this outcome, we create a certain self-image about yourself. So to display this in an example, we have two examples over here. Let's say a negative event happens, right? We make a mistake at work, at job, um, at our relationship, etc., etc. On the left, we have an example. So we have thoughts after making this mistake, like I'm so stupid, I'm so worthless, I'm so useless, etc., etc. This kind of negative thought loop, which develops a negative self-image. And this negative self-image is that we are stupid, that we are worthless, that we are useless. And when we start repeating that frequently to ourselves, that becomes kind of a reality we believe in. And that also kind of spirals into more negative self-imaging. Now, in the second example, we have a negative event, made a mistake, okay? And then the thoughts in this case is like, it is okay, I'm learning, I will work harder to do better, mistakes happen to everyone, etc., etc. Now, this ends up developing more positive self-image. And the reason for that is very, very simple. It is because we, in spite of a negative event, decide to make light out of the event and think more positively about ourselves and about a certain outcome that came. And with this thought, we solidify a certain positive self-imaging, which is that we are a learner because it's okay, I'm learning, as a hard worker, as a goal and improvement oriented person, in like I work harder to do better, and mistakes happen to everyone, solidifies that it is okay to make mistakes. It is a lesson to be learned, not a punishment to be given. And so, we, once we start repeating these more and more to ourselves, this is going to develop into positive self-image. So, affirmations essentially are a way to shape thoughts for better action and subsequently to get better outcomes. So, how does this look like, right? We have an action, right? And we have gone through the whole loop, which is like we do a better action because of better self-imaging, which leads to a better outcome. And once we add positive self-imaging thoughts, it creates a better self-image, which leads us to a better action. And this just kind of loops around and loops around, kind of always. And you can see in the chart below here is that once we start improving our self-image, it just kind of goes slowly and you start shooting up. And same with the decline. When you start doing negative, it just kind of goes down and down. It kind of accumulates on itself. And so when you kind of give yourself this kind of positivity and give yourself this positive, do positive actions and get positive outcomes, and that added with positive thoughts, you get better self-image, which leads to the chart over here. So what has been my experience doing affirmations? At first, my initial experience was that it was a bit cringe. I'm not gonna lie, it was a bit difficult to repeat this positive affirmations to yourself. Like I wasn't not used to it, you know, because I've always kind of had this mindset that it is okay, I'm learning, I'm improving, etc., etc. But once I started to actually turn them into genuine repeating affirmations, they felt a bit fake, which is like my second point here. It's like it feels a bit fake. It feels like you're not genuinely believing what you're saying, and it just kind of like, it's like, what am I saying? Is it really kind of, what I do? It's like it's difficult to believe. It's like, well, is it really what I believe? But as time gone on, and as I started to repeat that more and more, I disciplined myself to listen to the affirmations. I started repeating them out loud to myself or in my thoughts, silently as well. I kind of learned that my self-imaging, despite at first being kind of unbelievable, actually led me to increase my self-image and my self-perception, sorry, a lot. And the reason for that is that once you repeat something to yourself, even if it is unbelievable, you kind of start believing it. And then that belief kind of turns into a reality. And how that reality shaped for me is that my confidence has improved, my emotional state and my emotional control as well has also improved because I started to believe certain things about myself which I didn't before through affirmations, that I'm emotionally stable, that I am this, I'm that, and it just kind of starts to shape your self-perception uh, much better than it was before doing affirmations. I also started making better and more deliberate progress, which is like what affirmations did is to create help me actually to create this certain idea of myself of how I want to be. And then when I wrote it down in a journal, it kind of gave me a framework of could which I could work towards and see through my actions what is in alignment with that character and what is not, right? So that's what I mean when I say I started making better and more deliberate progress at the bottom. But to be honest, still at times it does feel some bit cringe. Although, to be honest, the cringiness has definitely gone down. But still, at times, if it's a bit very wordy and extravagant affirmation, it still feels a bit unbelievable, to say the least. And now, how can you do it? Right, so first way is you can start listening to affirmations on YouTube. There's affirmation on Spotify as well. Any kind of listening platform, there's always some kind of affirmations. And depending on what type of affirmation you want, you can just Google it, YouTube it, listen to it, and repeat it in your head because repetition is important. Or alternative way is that you can write down your own affirmations in relation to who you want your ideal self to be. So this is what I meant in my previous point of like, what am I in alignment or not, right? Excuse me. Uh, what am I in alignment or not? I just drank some water. This is also pretty helpful simply um, because what kind of person that you want to be and what do you want to get. It will be much, much easier to realize who you want to be, right? What we said. And also what type of affirmations are you gonna tell yourself to be that kind of person. So that does help a lot. Of course, with affirmation, action is very, very important because think about it logically, right? If you're gonna sit down and just keep repeating affirmations to yourself over and over again without doing any kind of action to make that into a reality, then what is the point, right? In that case, affirmations without action is completely worthless. So when you affirm something, you start doing affirmations, not only will you naturally gravitate towards a certain kind of positive habit, but at most times, especially in the beginning, you will have to make deliberate action to make that affirmations a reality. In time, when you keep doing that, it will become much, much easier, obviously. But in the beginning, action is very important. Action is always important at any stage of doing affirmations, not only in the beginning as well. Affirmations, of course, are a way to get to you to take better action to realize your ideal life. This is what I meant. Because when you create a certain kind of self-image with affirmations about yourself, you are going to take a better action because you have a certain idea of ideal life that you want to reach, that you want to live, which takes certain actions to get to. And affirmations are a way to get you to take better action to realize your ideal life. Of course, as I said, affirmations by themselves will not will not attract the life you want. God, give me a second. Will not attract the life you want by themselves. This is absolutely true. There is no there is no law of attraction and all that kind of stuff with affirmations. I don't personally believe in that. If you do, that's totally okay. Affirmations are kind of part of this law of attraction thing, but I don't personally use that for that purpose because it won't attract anything in your life by themselves because you will have to work for it, obviously. Excuse me again. I came back from work and my throat is a bit dry, so I'm recording this video a bit tired. So, excuse me. So, that is the end of it, really. I hope you enjoyed it because affirmations is something that I really, really wanted to kind of share with you, like my experience with affirmations as well. And if you're a student specifically that wants to improve their student life, improve their social student life, improve themselves as personally as well, if you're a teenager from like 14 to 23, 24, you're still a student at that age, whatever, you can sign up for my course on Fiverr for students, and it's going to be one-on-one consultation. Um, it has different packages that you can check out. You can text me on Fiverr as well if you want more details. And that's really about it. I hope you got some information out of this video, and I wish you good luck and a great day. Goodbye.